Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So I think now Solskjaer needs to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis because he deserves it on his fantastic progression he has made, so far, since he's been recommended, to come into the club, and since he has took this manful on at Manchester United, his progression has been absolutely fantastic indeed, and I do think he can get us in that commanding position, and I do believe, that he can elevate us to that higher level as well. But obviously, if he does get the job on a full-time basis, which does look very, very likely now, obviously we're going to have to sort a contract out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Obviously, going to sort him out a contract of how long he's going to be under contract here for. Obviously, we've got to sort out his current salary out as well. But Solskjaer has done an absolutely terrific job. Of course, as well, he's progressed us to the FA Cup quarter-finals. Now he's got us to the last day of the Champions League as well, which is very, very good indeed. So he's got us to the quarter-finals of the Champions League as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good indeed. And also too, we don't have to pay an additional fee of around what £7-8 million, to get him from Mould, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been coming out in relation, to his contract situation with Mould. He basically said, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that he thinks his contract has expired with Mould, but Mould themselves announced a couple of weeks, obviously before Solskjaer came to Manchester United, they did say from their perspective that he did agree a new 3-year deal with Mould, because obviously when we got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, currently Mould's season had currently finished, as I said, but I think Mould themselves have obviously reminded Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he's still initially under contract with Mould until 2021. Of course, Manchester United have obviously paid an additional fee of 1.8 million, of course, to get him on a temporary basis, as I currently said. But he's definitely the right man for Manchester United. As I did say, as a player, he had one of his most iconic moments, in the Champions League as a player, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he was a great, great player, for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. And now, obviously, yesterday Manchester United, making history in the Champions League, one of the greatest Champions League comebacks of all time as well. And we made history in the Champions League, which was very, very good indeed. We made history in the Champions League, and that's one of our greatest matches in Champions League history. But now, as a manager, this is one of his most iconic moments of the club's history as well, which is absolutely fantastic indeed. And he does deserve the job, based on the fantastic progression he has done. Now, he's obviously made history as well in the Premier League. Of course, we do continue our 100% winning record away from home. We have now won 9 away from home in all competitions. We've won 14 out of 17 in all competitions as well. So we've only drawn 2 and had 1 defeat. And in the process, Manchester United have scored 39 goals. And I do think, if I'm sure, that we have won 10 in the league, if that is correct, as I said. But Solskjaer does believe, Manchester United, can go on a win the Champions League. As I said, it is essential anyway that we do get Champions League football for next season, of course, so we can be more competitive, of course, in the summer transfer window. Obviously, we're going to get around, I think he did say around 200 odd million or maybe more, to spend in the summer. So that's the spending spree we're going to get to spend in the summer. Of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself is going to have a big say on our transfer plans in the summer as well, because obviously, we do expect departures, so we do expect, players to leave in the summer as well. But Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United. It's good, regardless of the injuries. He did say when he came in, he's going to give everybody the chance, including young players, the fringe players, get the players to express themselves. Get them enjoying playing football, and this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done, and I'm glad, that he's got a lot of trustworthy in the youngsters as well, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. But as I did currently say, going into the game yesterday, analysing the game, as you seen my reaction on it as well, it was absolutely unbelievable, because it was 2-0 down from the first leg, of course. Manchester United had 10 first-team players out, going into the game as well, because obviously, so we had to basically, go with a makeshift team in the game as well. The majority of the game, we wasn't even in the game, PSG had the majority of the possession. There was exploiting us, left to right, as I said, because PSG have got a lot of quality in their team. They've got some good young players. They've got a lot of good experienced players as well of PSG, as I said. And mainly we was on back foot, for the majority of the game, especially in the first half. I thought Smalling was immense at the back. I thought Scott McTominay, had a good game as well. And I think McTominay, since he has been getting chances, because considering, the injuries we've got, including in midfield, I think McTominay has been quite impressive. Again, I thought Andres Pereira put an okay performance in as well. I thought Ashley Young was very, very poor. He's getting exploited far too easily on that right hand side. He's getting exploited far too easily, in my opinion, is Ashley Young. It's been happening for the last like 6 or 7 games now. Ashley Young is getting exploited far too easily on that right hand side. Again, Bay came off in the game. Bay was actually playing in an unnatural position, was Eric Bay. I know he's been in and out of the team this season. We do know that he has still got great potential, but I think he actually came off injured, did Eric Bay, so basically Diego Dalot replaced him. And it was good to see also, Mason Greenwood making his debut yesterday night, making his first team debut. It was good to see, Chong getting involved as well. So he has got a lot of belief, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in the young players, as I currently said. But yeah, really good to see, Lukaku put us ahead after 2 minutes. Lukaku now, he scored 2 goals in the game, as I said, so that's now 6 goals in 3 games for Romelu Lukaku, and he's in fantastic form, is Romelu Lukaku. As I said, I know people have got strong reservations about him. His first touch, really, really concerns me and all that, and we do know he's slow, but, he's a player that can still be on at least 20 to 25 goals a season, when he's playing in this kind of vein. Now he's being given more opportunities as recent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His performances have been fantastic indeed, of Romelu Lukaku's. I know there's been strong speculation that he could leave Manchester United in the summer. Man United, may consider selling him in the summer, and if Man United do sell him, I think he's indicated, that he does prefer the move to Juventus as well, Romelu Lukaku. But he's been in absolutely fantastic form again. Rashford was absolutely fantastic yesterday as well, scoring the winner, from the penalty spot. And, there has been questions saying, was it a penalty and all this? Kimpembe, did handball it, as we all know. But, Kimpembe in the game at Old Trafford, basically should have been sent off as well. But it was 2-0 in the first leg, and I didn't think we had any chance of, pulling it back, to be quite honest with you, because PSG, seldom lose at their stadium, especially. They've got a good home winning record there. They've got a good home record, obviously that was our first win away from home in the Champions League in the knockout stages since 2011, and that was actually against Schalke away from home, as I said. But Solskjaer's brought the confidence back to the team. He's brought the motivation back to the team, as I said. He's brought the fluidity, back to the team, as I said. He's got the team playing in the right vein and the right manner. And I think, since Solskjaer's come in, he's found a solution, and this solution has definitely worked out indeed, as I currently said. But, when he was a great player, as I did say, for 11 years, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was a great player for 11 years, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, under Alex Ferguson. He won trophies, scored 126 goals, I think, in all competitions as well. Hasn't really proven himself in terms of a manager at the moment, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in terms of like winning any silverware, as I said. But I think that's definitely to come, as I said. And Man United, I've got to give him the job on a full-time basis. Of course, obviously, we've got to sort a contract out for him, how long he's going to be under contract here. We've got to sort his salary out, as I said, at the beginning of the video as well. But we still know that investment is definitely needed into the squad, as we all know. Probably we need to get about 3 or 4 players in the summer, as I said, because we do expect players, to leave Manchester United in the summer, of course. But he's done a terrific job, because when Solskjaer came in, Manchester United were 11 points behind top 4. Now we are currently sitting in the top 4, as I said. And we've got a very, very big game on Sunday, going away to Arsenal. As I said, that's going to be a difficult game, to be quite honest with you. I still think, obviously Manchester United have still got a lot of injuries. I think Eric Bay now has suffered an injury as well. Paul Pogba, of course, he's going to be back, because he was suspended, for the PSG game, but he's going to be back in action, against Arsenal on Sunday as well. But I think, obviously we've still got other injuries. I said, Alexis Sanchez is out through injury. It did say he was going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Alexis Sanchez, because obviously he's got a knee ligament damage. As Alexis Sanchez, I think he's definitely on his way out of the club in the summer. As Alexis Sanchez, he's been here just over the years, enjoyed a very, very difficult time. I think he's struggled to fit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system as Alexis Sanchez. So to quite honest with you, I think he's on his way out of the club, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. He's aging up. He's lost that yard of pace, as I said, as Sanchez. So I think Man United are considering, getting rid of him in the summer, and we do want to see the best out of him, as I said, because Solskjaer's getting the best out of the group of these players, as I said. And Sanchez is the only one that has failed to impress. Alexis Sanchez, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, when he has been given the opportunity. And I do think, with his tactics and all that, Solskjaer's and his formations and all that, I think Sanchez will end up losing that number 7 shirt, to be quite honest with you. And obviously now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. As I said, currently our highest paid player as well is Alexis Sanchez. So to be quite honest with you, I do think he's on his way out of the club, but he's currently injured at the moment. We still know, of course, Juan Mata's got a hamstring injury. I think it did say he's going to miss the game on Sunday against Arsenal, as well as Juan Mata. We know mainly under Solskjaer hasn't been first choice, because obviously when Lingard Lingard's been fully fit. Lingard's been first choice over Juan Mata, and Lingard's looks very, very good. He looks good out wide. He looks good on that right wing. When he does play Jesse Lingard, and he's a player that we're missing, because I think his progression as a Manchester United player has been looking very, very good indeed. Jesse Lingard. I don't know how long he's initially out for, Jesse Lingard, but as I did currently say, he's a very, very good player indeed, and he's still young. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. As I said, he can play in that attacking mid as well, can Jesse Lingard, but mainly Solsjaksr, when he has been fully fit, has been playing Lingard on the right hand side. But in relation to Juan Mata, he's got a hamstring injury. We still know he's a very, very consistent player. Of course, he's aging up now. He is 30, so he has lost that pace a little bit as Juan Mata, to be quite honest with you. And we know mainly, when we've had obviously, players fit and all that, and obviously before Mata got injured, he did get the chance, Juan Mata, because obviously, Jesse Lingard and of course were fit at the time as well. But Juan Mata is still a very, very consistent player. He's been in the Premier League a number of years now as Juan Mata, as I said. Of course, he's won everything apart from the Premier League, and that's the only thing he hasn't won. He had 3 years with Chelsea. When he was young in his prime, he had 4 years with Valencia under Raime. He began his career with Real Madrid as well, and now he's at Manchester United. I think this is his 5th season now with Manchester United. He's Juan Mata. I think he's still made over 200 odd appearances, as I said, but he has got a hamstring injury, and I think he's a doubt for Sunday as well. I think Matic won't be playing on Sunday because he's got a muscle injury, because he did say initially he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, as well as Nemanja Matic for injury, and he's been very, very consistent, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. Obviously, when he's been fully fit, because obviously he's been a regular, he's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, as Nemanja Matic, and we do have strong reservations about him. We do know that he's very, very slow, is Nemanja Matic, of course, as well. But I still think, even though he's aging up, I think there's areas of his game is adapted very, very well, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in, and he has been blending well in that midfield, and as Nemanja Matic, I think he's much more effective in his passing. He's been galloping forward more as well, so he is a miss, is Nemanja Matic, as we all currently know. So he's still injured. Of course, we know that Ander Herrera, of course, is still injured as well. He's got a hamstring injury as well, and he's been very, very lethal, especially when he's obviously been fully fit. He's been very, very lethal when, since Solskjaer's come in, he's been breaking up the play very, very well. Again, being fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, galloping forward more, showing a lot of tenacity about his play as well. And hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting Ander Herrera a new contract, because he does, deserve it, based on his fantastic performances. As I said, it's quite fair. Now we've got these injuries, currently in our midfield. As I said, it's obviously, he's going to obviously give more opportunities for Fred. We don't know if he's a long-term solution, because he's really struggled to make an impact at Manchester United. Of course, Scott Tommy Ware's played in like the last 4 games, and he actually has been very, very impressive indeed. Andres Pereira, he was quite good yesterday. He was very, very good against Southampton as well. And I think Andres Pereira is a very, very good player, and he's only 23 years of age, and he has got a lot of years ahead of him. I think Solskjaer wants to get him to a new long-term contract, but the thing is, he might lose his place in the team. Obviously, when we get players, coming back from injury, especially in that midfield as well. But Andres Pereira, he's just proven that he can play very, very well. As I said, I think, to be quite fair, when I've seen him playing, he's been playing between the lines very, very well. He's been playing, some delicate passes as well. Scott Tominway as well has done the same, to be quite honest with him. Tominway, played quite well yesterday, to be quite honest with you. But Andres Pereira, of course, Solskjaer wants to get him to a new long-term contract. Solskjaer himself has been in negotiations with Andres Pereira, of course, over his future at Manchester United, of course, as well, because when he was on his loan spells with Valencia and Granada, obviously he was more of a first-team regular. He was getting more involved. He was getting first-team football week in, week out. But he does have strong reservations about his game time. But for the time being, now we've got these injuries in the midfield. Of course, Andres Pereira will get more opportunities as Manchester United player. And I do like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He doesn't rest on his laurels, as I said. If he sees the problems, he addresses them problems. He shows that inspiration, and he's got a lot of belief in the young players, as I said. And he's done a really, really good job, considering that we've had injuries, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window as well. But I think we have actually got a board that can invest in basically what Solskjaer, who Solskjaer wants to bring to Manchester United in the summer as well. But we know Champions League is always currently essential. Yeah, Bay just recently picked. Bay is injured now, as he did currently say as well. Also, too, we do still know that Antonio Valencia, of course, has got a calf injury. He's out for a couple of weeks. Initially did say he's one of the players that are likely to leave Manchester United in the summer, as well as Antonio Valencia, being one of the longest serving players here. You know, he's been here since 2009. You know, this is his 10th season now at Manchester United. Is Antonio Valencia. He has made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions as Valencia as well. But obviously, Man United have opted against the decision, and we haven't given him that new 1 year extension on his current contract, because obviously his current contract ends in the summer, does Valencia. So I do think he's won everything here, but I think he's on his way out of the club. You know, is Antonio Valencia, quite honest with you. I think Ashley Young's past it now. He's 33, and you know he was actually playing as a right midfielder yesterday, and was Ashley Young. You know, mainly we operate him as a right back, but I think he was a right midfielder yesterday. Ashley Young. Ashley Young, I think, is past it now. He's 33, just like Valencia's 33. I know we've given Ashley Young, you know, that new 1 year extension, as I said, but I think he's past it now, because he's getting exploited, you know, far too easily on that right hand side. Is Ashley Young. So as I did say, I identified one of the areas we need to strengthen up. We do need someone on that right hand side, as I said. Of course, Matteo Darmian, I think he's on his way out of the club as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. Of course, I think I think he's still injured, but I think he's nearly recovered from injury now, Matteo Darmian. But we know mainly it hasn't been first choice anyway. And since we got him under Louis van Gaal, you know, he's really, really struggled, you know, to get everyone a games under his belt, and he struggled to get in the team as Matteo Darmian. I think he would potentially make a return, you know, back to Italy, because when he was younger, he actually spent the entirety of his playing career in Italy as well, did Matteo Darmian. So I do think he's on his way out of the club, as I currently said. But as I did say, you know, Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United, and as I did say, if we are, you know, if we are going to give him the job full time, we've got to sort him a contract out and all that. We've got to sort him a contract out and all that. You know, we've obviously got to sort his salary out, as I said. But when he was at Mold, you know, he still, even though he hasn't really proven himself in terms of as a manager at the moment, you know, he still ended up, you know, winning 2 Norwegian titles with Mold in his 2 spells he had with Mold. And I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. He's restored Alex Ferguson's spirit level, as I said, and he's brought the fear factor back to the club. And the glory days have returned to Manchester United, as I said. Everybody's now saying Solskjaer should get the job on a full time basis, and I think he's done more than enough to get the job on a full-time basis. And I think that game yesterday has basically, you know, wrapped it up, as I said, you know, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said, because now, you know, this is one of his greatest achievements, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, especially as manager on probably his whole career. As I said, you probably, you know, one of our greatest achievements, you know, especially in Europe as well, because we have now made history in the Champions League as well, which is very, very good indeed. And I'm really, really impressed, you know, as I did currently say, because I didn't expect us to win. We had 10 first team players out, so we went with a makeshift team. As I said, I'm just really, really impressed indeed. I'm just really, really impressed indeed, guys, as I said. But of course, we've still got to sort contract renewals out. That's all also essential as well, that Manchester United do need to sort out contract renewals. Hopefully, somewhere along the line, you know, we can come to an agreement of getting Marcus Rashford a new 6-year deal at Manchester United, because again, he deserves it, you know, based on his fantastic performances. You know, Marcus Rashford, you know, he deserves a new 6-year contract. There were talks about it before the Liverpool game that he indicated Rashford he was on the verge of signing a new 6-year deal. You know, 6-year deal, which would take him to the age of 27, which would take him under contract till 2025. At the moment, his current deal ends in 2020, next summer, as we all currently know, of next year. And there's also an option of a further year as well. But since Solskjaer's coming, his form's been rejuvenated. I think he looks a lot more effective, you know, when he's playing centrally, to be quite honest with you, Marcus Rashford. But his performances have been fantastic indeed, of Marcus Rashford. And he's been in United play since the age of 7. You know, he's progressing up the ranks fantastically well. You know, since he broke into the senior squad in 2016, you know, his performances have been fantastic indeed, of Marcus Rashford. So hopefully somewhere along the line, you know, we can agree him a new 6-year deal. And of course, he's still very, very young as well. And of course, you know, since Solskjaer's coming, you know, he's been scoring more goals, his finishing's improved as well. So I do think he's got that end product now, Marcus Rashford. I don't think he's on the quite the same level as Mbappe as yet, Marcus Rashford, but I think he's looking very, very consistent indeed. He's Marcus Rashford, as I currently said. And The news about David De Gea, nothing much more has updated, about David De Gea, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, now we know that he's made 100 Premier League clean sheets, David De Gea. Since he's been here, he has made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions, as well as David De Gea. Again, he's been one of the longest serving, players here at Manchester United, and it's good that he's remained loyal to Manchester United. He's been here since 2011. I think this is what his 7th, 8th season now, David De Gea's. Somewhere along the line, hopefully we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract. Solsjaksr did basically say himself, Ole Gunnar Solsjaksr did say himself that he's still confident that De Gea will sign a new deal. He hopes De Gea signs a new deal as well. De Gea's demanding that he wants around £400,000 a week in the region. So what he's demanding is he wants to be the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez does David De Gea. Reports did say, I haven't heard much about it recently, but reports did say Man United are not willing to meet his wage demands, David De Gea's. It did say Man United are willing to offer him £350,000 a week. Reportedly, Man United are not willing to offer him more than that, but De Gea is demanding £400,000 a week because obviously last year Manchester United activated a 12-month extension on his current contract, so he's still in the contract here at least until 2020 as well as David De Gea. But nothing much more has updated in the process of that as well. And he's been here since the Ferguson era. We must have paid about 16-17 million pounds, was it, for him? When we got him in the Alex Ferguson era, and he's grown, developed, and flourished, fantastically well, and he's become potentially, the best goalkeeper in world football as David De Gea, as we all currently know. Discuss with you a bit of transfer rumours that are going on, as we all currently know, as I do always update you on a regular basis, in relation to transfer rumours. So the first story I'm going to go with you in transfer rumours, of course, everybody's been talking about it. He's young, 18-year-old Jadon Sancho, and I do think, he's got absolutely immense talent as Jadon Sancho, or Sancho, however you pronounce his name. He's only 18 years of age, so he's very, very young indeed. Only broke into the England first team last year as well, did Jadon Sancho. Well, I think a narrative came out about it a couple of years ago that actually Manchester United were actually interested in him. This is when he actually left Manchester City of course as well, and the main reason he did leave Manchester City is because obviously City couldn't obviously guarantee him to get in the first team with Manchester City. He spent a couple of years with City, he never got into their first team, so he was in their youth academy for a couple of years. But a narrative came out about it. I think Samuel Lockhurst at the time from the Manchester Evening News at that time back in 2017 said Manchester United had showed an interest in Jadon Sancho. He actually began his youth career with Watford as well, did Jadon Sancho. He's mainly a winger, but I think he's since he's been at Borussia Dortmund, he's been absolutely fantastic indeed. As Jadon Sancho shows the ability to attack, play balls, score goals, and all that. And he is English as well as Jadon Sancho. As I said, do you think he'd be good? Do you think he'd complement our team very, very well if Manchester United could come to any agreement, to get him in the summer? I think a few teams have expressed their interest in him. The only rumours I've heard that Man United have interest in him. It's also said that PSG have showed a slight interest in Jadon Sancho as well. Reports do say now recently Man United are preparing to maybe pay £100 million for Jadon Sancho in the summer. This will potentially make him the most expensive English footballer ever, as we all know. And I did say Man United, we are willing to break our current club transfer record as well. So he basically would be the most expensive English footballer ever, plus our most expensive signing as well. Reports are now coming out basically saying in relation to Jadon Sancho that reportedly he's willing to snub a £100 million offer from Man United, and I think he's willing to stay in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, and I think he's going to remain loyal to Borussia Dortmund, as I said. But if Man United are willing to pay £100 million for him in the summer, Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player he is to them, and they do know how much of a good addition he is to their team. But if Man United are willing to offer £100 million, this probably would convince Borussia Dortmund to sell him off. Financially, Borussia Dortmund anyway would make a huge profit on the player as well, because Borussia Dortmund only paid an initial £8 million for him from Manchester City, of course, back in 2017 as well. And of course, he is under contract with Borussia Dortmund now until 2022, as I said. But Man United have identified him as a summer target, and I think obviously our pursuit of Jadon Sancho obviously hinges on Champions League football for next season. I definitely do think we're going to get Champions League football for next season. We're definitely going to get Champions League football for next season, because I think we've got a great chance of winning it. I probably think we can still probably finish in the top four as well. So yeah, but Jadon Sancho reportedly is willing to snub a £100 million offer, and he actually began his career with Watford, did Jadon Sancho. But since he's broken into Borussia Dortmund first team, he's been absolutely fantastic indeed and sensational. And obviously, we know Borussia Dortmund have been, known for doing business with the players. They sold Aubameyang 58, 59 million. They've obviously sold Ousmane Dembele. He's young as well for around 105, 106 million, to Barcelona. Pulisic is going to be a Chelsea player next season because he's been loaned back to Dortmund for the remainder of the season. But they still basically sold, Pulisic to Chelsea for 58 million pounds as well. But it will take a bid in the excess of maybe at least 70, 80 million pounds to convince Dortmund to sell him in the summer. But I think Jadon Sancho, remains happy at Borussia Dortmund. The recent reports have said he's willing to snub a £100 million offer from Manchester United, of course, as well. But he has had experience of playing in English football. Reports do say City would benefit from it because reportedly City do have a buyback option on the player, and reports are saying that City would receive around 15% or something like that of the transfer fee as well. So that's latest news that's going on about Jadon Sancho, as I said. Man United have also been keeping track on Felix, as we all know. He's another player that's been mentioned. The young 19-year-old Benfica winger. I've been giving you an update on his buyout clause. I think it's around 105 million pounds. I think it's around 105 million pounds his buyout clause. Felix. Reportedly, a few teams have expressed their interest in Felix, as I said, because there was a narrative going about in the January transfer window, and he probably would take a bid in the excess of around 105 million pounds to probably get Joe Felix in the summer. Man United have instructed scouts to keep a close eye on the player. Man United scouts have been watching him on a regular basis because he's very, very young as well as Joe Felix, but he's yet to make his senior debut with Portugal. I think he's mainly a winner, but he can play in other positions as well, so he is versatile, is this Joe Felix. So reportedly we have showed an interest in him as well. So we have showed an interest in Joe Felix as well. But we know the rumours that have been currently going on in the last couple of days, well, at least. Well, there was a narrative going on about a couple of weeks ago, as I currently said. I have been actually, updating you about it on a regular basis, considering that we know that Romelu Lukaku has been in great form lately. He scored 6 goals in his last 3 games. There has been rumours going on saying that Man United could sell Lukaku in the summer, and if we do decide to sell him in the summer, we will want to recruit the initial £75 million Manchester United, of course, paid for him. And overall, he's got a very, very good pedigree in the Premier League. He scored loads and loads of goals in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku, but Man United still may consider selling him in the summer. And reports are coming out saying that reportedly Man United are willing to make a £120 million move for Juventus' Paulo Dybala if Manchester United sell Lukaku in the summer. Reportedly, there's obviously been rumours going on of a possible player plus cash deal as well involving Romelu Lukaku. So this potentially means we offer Juventus 120 million for Dybala plus Romelu Lukaku as part of the deal as well. And if Lukaku is to leave, I think Dybala would be an absolutely fantastic replacement as well because he's world class, he's a quality player, he's very tenacious, he's got a lot of tenacity about his play as well, and his finishing is absolutely fantastic as well as Paulo Dybala's. Obviously, we know £120 million, if Man United were willing to offer £120 million for him in the summer, this would tempt probably, Juventus, to sanction Paulo Dybala off, even though really Juventus, don't want to lose Paulo Dybala. But if Man United are willing to offer £120 million, this would probably, convince maybe, Juventus to sanction him off. But he's a very, very good player. As I said, one of the biggest names in Italian football is Dybala. This is his 4th season now with Juventus. The majority of his silver he has won has obviously, become at Juventus, and he's made over 100 odd appearances now for Juventus. Scored a lot of goals, and he's still young. He's only 25 years of age, so he has got a lot of years ahead of him. He's Argentinian, of course, as well as Paulo Dybala. But reports do say Man United are willing to make a £120 million move for Dybala if Lukaku leaves. There's also been talks that there could be a potential player plus cash deal, a swap deal involving Lukaku and Paulo Dybala, because Lukaku did make it clear if Man United do decide to sell him, Lukaku has indicated that he does want to make the move to Juventus instead. But I think if Dybala was to come in the summer and Lukaku was to leave, he would be a great addition, to our squad. As I said, he's only 25 years of age. He's an ex-Palmero player as well. And I think Juventus paid Rosset around €32 million for him, or something like that. But of course, we know there's been a lot of talks about that going on as well. And we know there's been, obviously, talks going on of Romelu Lukaku and Icardi as a potential swap deal as well. And we do know there's been talks about that going on as well, as I have been updating you on about that as well. Icardi, again, very, very good player indeed. I think Inter Milan has just recently lost the captain's armband. Is Icardi, if I'm right, I think he's just recently lost the captain's armband not too long ago. I think Inter Milan are increasingly, becoming frustrated with him again. Very, very good player, can lead the lines well. He's an efficient finisher, is Icardi. I think he's his breaks box to box are very, very good. I think he's good box to box. I think he's got really, really good physical attributes. I think he adapts every area of his game very, very well. Of course, he just recently turned 26 years of age. Of course, he's Argentinian as well as Icardi, and I think I think he's valued at around 100 million because his release clause is around 100 million. He's Icardi's as well, something like that. He's currently Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time as well as Icardi. Since he's been in Milan, he's got his ratios fantastic. His goal scoring form's unbelievable. He's scored over 100 odd goals. Since he's been at Inter Milan, is Icardi. The majority of his goals have actually come at Inter Milan. He's been in Milan a number of years. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well. This is his 6th season now with Inter Milan. Is Icardi's as well. So there has been talks of Lukaku and Icardi's potential swap deal because Inter Milan have showed an interest in Lukaku to replace Icardi. As I said again, Argentinian, just recently turned 26 as well, and he's a prolific goal scorer as well. And obviously he used to play for Sampdoria because he had an impressive season with Sampdoria. He actually began his youth career with Barcelona as well, did Icardi. So yeah, very, very good player indeed. But I think for the game on Sunday, as I said, for the game on Sunday, guys, I want to give you an update on. For the game on Sunday, guys, I do want to give you an update on. I think Martial's going to be in contention, to play on Sunday as well, which is very, very good news because obviously he's just recently been injured as well with a groin injury as well as Anthony Martial. So I think he's going to be in contention, to play on Sunday as well. The preview for the Arsenal United game will either be coming up tomorrow, or it will be tomorrow night, or it will be Saturday at the latest. The Arsenal Manchester United preview will be coming up as well. But as I was saying, at the beginning of the video, Solsjaksr now has got to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis, of course, as well. Obviously, Manchester United have obviously, got to sort the contract out for him, sort the salary out for him, as well, of course, as well. And of course, he's done really, really well. He's I think he can elevate this team forward. He's transformed this team completely. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, which I'm very, very pleased about. We're now in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We're now in the quarterfinals of the Champions League as well, which is very, very good indeed. So we are in the last 8 now of the Champions League. We are now in the top 4 as well. So he's done an absolutely terrific job, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Manchester United would probably have to just pay a fee of around £8 million to Malta to get him on a full-time basis as well. And it's very, very good. And he knows everything about this club. His managerial style suits the club. He suits the strappings of the club, as I said. And I think his formation's right. His lineups are right. He's a good tactician as well. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think his mentality is absolutely immense. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think we can have a competitive summer transfer window, of course, if we get into Champions League for next season, which I do think, Manchester United are going to do. I'm very, very confident indeed. But a lot of people now saying, he should get the job on a full-time basis, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, because we know teams are still going to invest in the summer. We know Arsenal are probably going to invest. Probably Liverpool may try and maybe, get a player in the summer at least. Chelsea obviously can't because they've got a transfer ban. But yeah, teams will invest in the summer, so it is essential. Probably maybe Man City may still invest in the summer as well. So it is essential that we do make investment in the summer, because obviously Manchester United know that still investment is needed, as I said. And Solskjaer is very, very confident, Manchester United can go on and win the Champions League. He said it's what we do and all this. And he was confident, going into the game, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, considering, that we had 10 first-team players out. He was still confident, because obviously, as, during his time as a player, he was part of a lot of comebacks, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. So for me, right man for Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt. And now United have made history in the Champions League as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Thanks for your time today. If you do, consider subscribe to my channel. As always, it's Charlie Davenport if you want to know.